I am Anthony Smith from Smith Crafters LLC. It is a one-man craft studio here in Idaho. I make all sorts of things. I make rings. There's another one. I've also made pins like fountain pins and rollerball pins. I have done kitless pins such as this one where I've cut all my own threads and made all of the components except for the nib and the converter. I also have done the kit pins that you can buy online. I also have made drip tips for the vapes and stuff like that. The e-cigarettes. Here is a replacement panel for one of them. I've also made duck calls. I have also done straight razors, just like all projects like this one. You can see the blades ruined. I have ruined straight razors. I mostly restore vintage straight razors. I have yet to make any of my own blades. Also done things like spinning tops, all sorts of side projects. I've turned a couple bowls on the wood lathe. I don't have any of those available right now. I work with all sorts of cool materials such as the hybrids. It's a wood burl and plastic resin, which is cast over the top of the wood burl. They make for some very unique projects. Elk antler, Damascus steel, which if you don't know what that is, it is patterned steel made with multiple layers of various steel types. I also work with things like carbon fiber, done all sorts of different metals, aluminum, stainless, titanium, brass, copper, all sorts of stuff like that. I've also worked with hundreds of wood species and plastics. That's mostly what I do. Alright, this is my little corner of the workshop. Got the toolbox with all sorts of different stickers and other stuff underneath the to-do lists. Here is the metal lathe bench. This is where I spend most of my time. Got the air compressor down underneath. Sander, grinder, drill press, and then the wood lathe. Over here we have a router sitting on top of the table saw because I don't use either of them very often. Have a wood bandsaw, a metal bandsaw, chop saw. Got the fireplace going. It's just a pellet stove, keeps shop warm. It's currently December, so it is very cold here in Idaho. Got the computer bench, the resin casting bench, which is always a disaster, and the material shelf, and then a little bit of storage. And we have some above head storage and, gas cans and chainsaw and stuff that we just store in here because there's nowhere else to put it. I also have in the corner a dust collecting system that I have yet to set up because I don't have the pipes or enough power to plug it in the shop. But this is the Smith Crafters studio. This is where the magic happens. So for our next video, I think what I'm going to do is we'll make a spinning top. Fairly basic project. Doesn't take a whole lot of material or tools to make. Will take a lathe, but most of my projects will probably require you to have a metal or wood lathe. Doesn't take a whole lot of know-how either. Pretty basic project, pretty easy to go through. You can get pretty fancy with them, or you can be pretty basic. So I'll be posting some videos. Don't know how often. Depends on how busy I am and how motivated I am to actually make these videos. Just kind of this YouTube channel is kind of a side project as of right now. Depends on how it turns out. It might become the full-time thing. So if you guys want to check out what I do regularly, all of my work, there'll be a link in the description below to my website, smithcrafters.com. That's how I keep everything running here. I mostly make the rings and the pins. I've been making rings for 3 years now, solidly for 2. It's mostly what I do, and for about a year now I've been working on fountain pins, and in the past 6 months they have gotten substantially better in quality So I have started to release those as well. There's also one straight razor on the website, and duck calls. I'm a little late to the game right now because it's actually duck hunting season right now in Idaho. So there'll be more duck calls on the website eventually. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. But duck calls, pins, rings, and straight razors. That's mostly what's there. I also sell material for any of you who know what you're doing and have a passion for making things to make your own things from.